Once again, welcome to my video blog on model railroading. And last time we looked over running our trains with a switch list or work order. I thought this time what I would do is kind of explain how I created the work order. Not necessarily the typical train order system that you would find or card system. It's kind of my own development that works for me, and we'll go through just how it's done. There's switching cars from industry, basically getting a work order and having a list of what cars need to be switched at and where you want to spot the cars out of industry and what industries to go to. The other type is timetables. When you have a large layout with multiple towns or even cities, you would have multiple trains running, and they would have to meet certain schedules, time schedules, let's say for passenger trains, even freight trains, and they would have to be able to run and not interfere with one another. And so those type of operating sessions are completely different from what I'm doing. I'm only operating in one town with a couple sidings, and usually if I want, only work one siding at a time and just switching out what cars. So this tells you exactly what cars are going to go to where and which spot they will go to on the siding. And that's what we're doing here. We're not trying to operate multiple trains over a rail and come about and meet schedules and timetables and fast clocks. I always work in normal time because I'm just switching cars, and normal time is, to me, the best way to do it. I'm not trying to compress miles and miles and miles of rail. I'm actually running the amount of rail that would be necessary to switch a car. And that's one of the things I like about a switching layout is you're just operating the siding at its normal speed and normal scale without much compression, if any. So let's open up our database. I have a trains database here, and I'll open it up. I put it in Excel. All of my cars are listed over here, and with the type of card, road name, and description. And you notice I only have about 20 cars. That's all I need to operate my railroad. I'm not a collector. I don't try to collect every road name and every kind of car out there. You can see here that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, different days on the schedule are already laid out and put in for a couple weeks time frame. So every time I have an operating session, and I will say that my operating sessions are done alone or with one other person. This is really why I wanted to post this, so you can see how to operate your trains alone and still have a system that is organized and provides challenge and purpose. These are the cars operating from Pittsford. So looking at the first day, Monday, then Tuesday, we're going to have the same cars on Monday that get spotted. You're going to find them there for to be pulled on Tuesday. You need to clear those out before you can deliver more. So for example, 90094, that needs to be pulled on Tuesday. 45019 was spotted on Monday. It too will need to be pulled on Tuesday before more cars can be delivered. And then you see these three that need to be spotted on that day. and spot end, spot silo, respot the dock. Tells you exactly where on that spur they need to be spotted. Moving on to Wednesday, you'll see the same thing again. So 3 to be pulled and 3 to be spotted. So an exchange of 6 cars. Going on Thursday is continue on right on down the line. So all these work orders already take into account that the cars that are already sitting there from previous deliveries. Now, what does this mean for operating sessions? You can have one operating session each day, but if you were to operate, let's say, twice a week, and you would do the Monday at Pittsford, then the second day of the week that you decide to operate, you can do the Brandon section. And then the following week, when you did another operating session by yourself, you would move on to the next calendar day on the work order sheet. Now, when I'm talking about operating alone, this also can be done with one other person. That is, one person plays the engineer and runs the engine. The conductor's in charge of everything that goes on. He's the one that's going to negotiate the trains back and forth and switch out the cars. Basically, he will be telling the engineer when to move, where to move. He will be out there uncoupling the cars, spotting the cars, and doing all that's necessary. So 2 of you can do this. One could be doing the conductor's job of spotting cars, and the other one's actually driving the engine. Now let me talk about car types. These are to be found in the Association of American Railroads and Freight Equipment car codes. And you can just look that up online, and it'll bring it up, the different codes, what they mean. So Boxcar XM is the code for boxcar for general service equipment with side or slide end doors. Side or end doors. So XM is a typical boxcar. TA, one on top, that's a tank. Each one of these has the road name. So on my list, I have your type, your road name, and the car number, of course, is the identifier and where it needs to be spotted. And that's basically all of what needs to be on the work order. So hopefully this will give some of you a start on setting up your own card system or a work order system to operate by yourself or with one other person, switching out a few cars once a week, a couple times a week, or how often you want to do it. A system that will give you purpose for your railroad, give you a challenge, and give you an organized method for doing it. Hope you enjoyed.